Ah! It's always difficult to get this stupid thing angled right. No matter what I do, I look stupid. I mean, if I was Chinese, my name would be Chin Too Fat. Like, it's just ridiculous. But there's nothing I can do about it except go on a diet. And I'm the kind of person that has a pint of Ben & Jerry's for lunch because I was working in the freezer and it looked delicious. So I got it. It was Ben & Jerry's cake batter. And I think there's still a little bit left in the bottom of the carton, so I didn't eat the whole pint. But I would have if I had more time, so there's really no justification. Anyway, if you notice, got my keep cool sign, squinch down here, that I cut out. Got my keep cool sign, so everybody keep cool. I remembered it off the top of the fridge today. I was proud of myself. So, yeah, it was an interesting day, stuck in the freezer again. After I got done with that, I got to go play in the training room and learn things from a computer that has a really slow, drawling southern voice that puts you to sleep, especially after you've worked all night, until someone walks through and triggers the light and you have to pretend that you were paying attention. And I'm running out of breath. I was going somewhere with that. Yeah, the CBLs, the learning things. They teach you things about the company you work for that you don't really care about, even though you should. It's interesting. The one today was about customer service and how to please customers and all that crap. It's not crap, though. They had some valid points, just the way they go about it. If you're dealing with customers, they don't want you in your personal in their personal space. It's not important. The eye contact is important. The making sure they got everything they want is important. But getting right up in their face like this and completely invading all rules of personal space, nobody wants that. Nobody wants you to ask them about their grandchildren, because you're there to get things and spend money that you really shouldn't be spending. And if you want help, you should get help, but you shouldn't be harangued. And that's basically what this learning thing was telling you to do, is harass your customers. That bugged me. But it made me think, though, and I've kind of always had this opinion, when kids get out of high school, they shouldn't be allowed to go straight to college. If they're not going into the military, they should be forced to do 3 months in some sort of service job. They should be flipping burgers for $6 an hour, or they should have to work in retail or in grocery or, some store that has a checkout counter. I've got to stop saying I'm trying to pay attention a little more. But you should be forced to work in some kind of service job, because school doesn't teach you a whole lot. It really doesn't. Excuse me. My cat keeps trying to eat my work shoes. I wouldn't care if she chewed on a pair of my cheap sandals, but she can't eat my work shoes. That's just not cool. Now she's playing with what I threw at her. It was just some, God damn it, I said again. It was some foot tape to tape bandages on. You don't care. I had a point. Not the one on the top of my head either. Anyway, you learn so much more getting a real job than you do, or not, a real job, but you know what I mean, getting a job rather than going to college. I went for 2 years, for those of you who don't know, and I dropped out because I wasn't going anywhere with it. I was in a different major every semester, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that I had a good job that I enjoyed, and paid me fairly decent. I'm not saying I'm rich, but most of the time I get enough to get by. Sometimes I need a little help, but I usually have enough to get by. And I enjoy my time there most of the time. And I've learned way more in the few years I've worked at my job than I ever did in school or college. The only useful thing school taught me was how to make up excuses for things that didn't get done. I think that's actually the true purpose of homework, is you graduate from saying, oh, my dog ate it, to you come up with this story that suddenly an angel fell out of the clouds into your bedroom while you were really trying hard to do your homework and couldn't get back to heaven unless you took your homework and made it into a paper airplane, and he'd shrink himself down and climb into it, and you threw it out your window and he'd fly back to heaven. You graduate to making stuff up like that. That's the only thing I learned, I think. School is good. High school is good for, you need to know math. You use it every day. Trust me. Try to think of a day that you didn't use math. I know you did, even if it was, how many ice creams did I have so far? And if I have another one, will that make me a porker? Usually the answer is yes, but there are numbers involved. especially if you're on like Weight Watchers or something. There's definitely those points involved. That's just a bugger up. Anyway, you do use English. English is important, or language is important, learning to speak your language well. I speak horrible English. I really do. I say all the time, and I cuss every now and then, and I make too many fart jokes, and I say ain't, and apparently when I go on the intercom at work, I have a horrible accent that nobody can understand, but I think they're just tripping. But, you know, English is important. History is important because you learn from your mistakes and other people's mistakes, and knowing the past helps you predict the future. Social studies is important because you need to know cultural differences in order to get by in the world. You can't call other people that you work with biracial slurs, and you know, you have to be aware that people have differences. All those things are important. So high school does teach you a few useful things, but if you don't know exactly what you want to do, that's where it should end. You should go out and get a job of some sort. I'm not saying it's the higher path, maybe it's the lower path. Like, if you know what you want to do, if you want to be a doctor and play with people's hearts in a very literal sense, mess with people's brains, set their broken bones and wipe their tears and boogers, that's cool. I'm not mocking it at all. I think it's great if you know what you want to do. But if you don't, go get a job at a Shaw's or a Borders or a McDonald's or anything. Go get a job like that. You learn how to deal with people quick, fast, and in a hurry. You learn you can't just ditch people off and not help them because your favorite episode of Family Guy is on in 10 minutes. You learn that things have to get done on time, and you learn that if you're not nice to other people, you can't make a living. You need to learn how to be good with people in order to make a living. Those people that I stock shelves for and run register for are my paycheck. They pay me, not the company, because if those customers stop coming in, the company doesn't make money and I don't have a job anymore. I think that's the most important thing I've learned, is being nice to other people and the value of it. Even with your other coworkers, you know, people help me out a lot because I am a putz and a klutz and I mess up a lot, and I guess people feel bad for me, but also because I try to be decent to people. That's the most important thing you're ever going to learn in your life, is to be decent to other people. People that haven't worked in a service job aren't going to really understand this. My mom is an insurance agent. I know she'll get it. And I think she agrees with me that she's been in sales her whole life, and she's really good at it. And she's really good with people. She's taught me a lot. And that's the most important thing, is learning how to deal with people, how to respect them. And if you are still in high school, I encourage you to go to college if you know what you want to do, but if you don't, apply at your local grocery store. Even if you only work there for 6 months, you'll get more of an education there than you will if you go straight to college. It's important to learn how to live paycheck to paycheck and how to deal with people. It's just the most important thing I've ever learned. I'm repeating myself now, so I'm going to stop. But I really encourage anyone who hasn't worked in a service job to go get a job there. You might hate it. It's not for everybody, but you also might learn some things and meet some really awesome people. And I just really recommend it. I think I'm going to go to bed now. I'm tired, and because it's my day off, I'm only going to sleep a couple hours and then get up to do stuff because I'm off for 3 days. My next entry, Michelle asked if I'd talk about people with funny clothing, which I'm more than happy to do because I dress really funny, and it's an exciting topic. I'm just clicking rings together. I'm just tired. I'm not Mr. Ed. I just look like him. I don't really know what animal I look like. One guy once told me I looked like a horse, and that was when I had long poofy hair. And I'm like, what? It's because I have a big butt, isn't it? And they're like, no, your hair. And I'm like, yeah, sure. So anyway, oh, and Martin, that was for you, because you keep poking me on Facebook, you putz. It's okay. You're funny. I go to bed now. Remember, keep cool. I hope you can see that over my shoulder. Stay out of trouble. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. No, that's a bad Confucius say. What's a good Confucius say? I gotta leave you with words of wisdom. I really can't think of a good one. I don't know why I do that all the time. I like chew on my lips when I'm nervous or thinking. You didn't need to know that. And I guess I don't think. You're right. I don't think. Confucius say, man who go to bed with itchy bottom wake up with stinky finger. There you go. There's your fart joke. You don't care. I had a point. Not the one on the top of my head either.